Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hello everyone. Thank you for listening to my presentation in the first UMS CoFA 2020. The title of my presentations is Work from Home and Employment Relations during COVID-19 MCO in Malaysia. So this is based on a study funded by UMS through Scheme Dana Khas, a research grant. Since the movement control order was announced in Malaysia on 18 March 2020, all organizations except the essential sectors have been directed to work from home, aimed at breaking the chain of COVID-19. So it seems that the COVID-19 pandemic unintentionally pushed the global workforce into a massive remote working experiment as companies and organizations around the world rapidly adopted working from home arrangements to continue their operations. Working from home is likely part of the new normal as the global community continues to fight COVID-19, and this is no exception for Malaysia. Yeah, the future looks very uncertain now. We don't know when or if our societies might return to normal or what kind of scars the pandemic will leave. Definitely, it is obvious that the pandemic has changed the world of work and made the working conditions to be more dynamic. And it certainly affects social relationships and work and non-work role commitments for individuals working from home. So this is the focus of this paper, to discuss, to elaborate how working from home affects employment relations during MCO. Employer relations is the relationship that exists between an employer and an employee. And normally the relationship between these both parties is governed by the contract of personal service. Now, the world today is becoming increasingly complex as the pattern of employment relations has increasingly changed from standard to non-standard pattern. Now, this is because the nature of a standard employment relationship, such as standard working hours, working in the provided premises, having standard employment arrangements, has become blurred due to the existence of complex and flexible types of employment. This is further compounded by the growing practice of work from home as a result of movement control order. The presence of COVID-19 MCO and working instructions from home also contribute to a flexible working relationships and is no longer considered traditional. The implementations of work from home without face-to-face interaction with colleagues, employers, and stakeholders can definitely reduce, if not eliminate, organizational politics and increase the integration of work and family responsibilities. Yet, at the same time, the absence of employee-employer face-to-face relationships can create segregation, reduce a sense of belonging, responsibility, and organization, and create non-standard working patterns. Yeah, past studies also found that employees feel less sense of work ethic due to unsuitable and comfortable working conditions. Now, these raise questions as to how the employer employment process takes place while working from home due to MCO. Is it effective? Have technological facilities and smart devices successfully created harmonious and effective employment relationship? Hence, this presentation today aims to explore how work from home during movement control order can affect employment relations in Malaysia. This exploratory study is based on a more comprehensive study. However, for this paper, this presentation, the discussion only focuses on work from home practices and the implications of employment relationships. The data discussed in this presentation also focuses only on preliminary findings from qualitative data obtained through a mixed quantitative and qualitative survey. The mixed quantitative-qualitative survey was used through Google Form, which was sent randomly via email, WhatsApp, and Facebook during MCO, and targeted those who work from home only to answer it. A total of 725 participants from all over Malaysia have responded, and Online qualitative survey research potentially gives voice to people who might not otherwise be able to participate in qualitative research. And from the study context, it was due to COVID-19 MCO. The qualitative survey consists of a series of open-ended questions and centered on a particular topic. They are self-administered with questions presented in a fixed and standard order to all participants. Because participants respond by typing responses in their own words, qualitative surveys produce the rich and complex accounts of the type of sense-making typically of interest to qualitative researchers. Such as participant subjective experiences, narratives, practices, positionings, and discourses. So within the framework of what is important to the researcher, qualitative survey data capture what is important to participants and access their language and terminology as both frequently claim advantages of this qualitative research. And the data obtained were then analyzed using reflective thematic techniques. Reflexive thematic analysis is employed to answer broad or narrow research questions about people's experiences, views, and perceptions and representations of a given phenomenon. Generally, findings show that out of 725 respondents, 614 or 84% of the respondents said this was the first time they practiced work from home. Meanwhile, 497 and 68% of the respondents do not think that working from home is easier than working at work, and 409 of the respondents like to work from home. And 69% of the respondents think that face-to-face communication is better than online communication. So in this result, indicates that although more than half of the respondents like to work from home, but more than half of respondents also prefer to have face-to-face interaction as opposed to online, which is one of the main elements needed when work from home is practiced. The findings from the qualitative data show that there are themes that exhibit work-from-home practices, whereby it can either strengthen and at the same time weaken existing employment relationships. The slides illustrate the factors of work from home that can influence employment relations during movement control order. The first one is digital transformation, the second one is digital communication, and the third, support, both institutional and social, and new working style, which is going to be elaborate later on. How work from home influences employment relations. So the finding shows, the result shows, the first one is digital transformation. In ensuring that work from home practices run efficiently, the technological aspect is an important component that must be available in every employee's home. This is not only limited to computers, smartphones, tablets, and all related digital devices, but accessibility to the internet also needs to be at the best capacity to ensure work from home runs successfully. Facilities of technology and efficient digitalization elements will certainly facilitate employment matters even during the MCO. So this is how respondents foresee that efficient technology and digital transformation will facilitate better employment relations and intact relationship as shared by the respondent. The relationship between employees and employers remains intact despite working from home, as technology now allows work to be done online. Others also share a similar experience. The company provides VPN to communicate in case any employees want to work in the system. Some say that adequate ICT support is important for better employees-employers relations. However, the lack of technological and internet support while work from home can also contribute to weaken employment relations, as it can hamper the efficiency of the task delivery. A respondent shared, when the internet line has a problem, the meeting is not smooth, and even some staff are difficult to contact. This causes a lot of work to be disrupted. Others also shared how lack of technology contributes to the disliking of work from home. Limited access to certain software, The lack of technological facilities made it difficult for me to work from home. Some say that difficult to work from home due to information and internet data constraints. Others say that I have no computer at home, or printer and scanner are all in the office. So without adequate technological and digital equipment, efforts to ensure work from home practices run efficiently are futile. Indirectly, the coveted employment relationships will also not be able to be achieved. Work from home through digitalization and virtualization also contribute to the tendency of employees to work without walls. Floating in cyberspace with work assignments done at home can also cause long working hours and no time limit. Respondents share their experiences. For example, working hours when work from home is quite flexible, but I always work longer hours, sometimes until night. Others said that I feel that work from home just like working without walls, which means no limits. Other respondents stated that when working from home, I do not see the boundary between work and non-work. Most of the time, the borders are blurred. Some say that work from home has many constraints and working online causes working hours and housework cannot be distinguished. So these experiences indicate how the border of work and life domains become porous, and responsibilities from both domains can seeping through into each other. If this is not well managed, it can lead to work-life conflict. So COVID-19 has made digitalization more heart-pressing and an urgent need than ever before. So therefore, organization and workers need to understand what their needs are and to what extent they can go digital to permit efficient work from home and hence lead to great employment relations. The second theme found in this study is digital communication. So digital communication is the most dominant medium for communicating during work from home in COVID-19 MCO. It allows for seamless and easy to communicate interactions because someone with an introverted personality, for example, no longer needs to restrain themselves from feeling anxious when it is necessary to speak up, especially with their superiors or even their colleagues. The study found that the practice of work from home allows some iceberg breaks to be done. This experience is shared by respondents who stated that, for example, when working in the office, we always feel there is a constraint to talk to the boss. But when work from home and talk digitally, our faces are not visible. We can communicate without feeling shy and feel free to talk. Some said that when work from home started, I have online communication with colleagues and bosses, felt easier and more friendly without barriers. So work from home through digital communication also allows social connecting. As respondents highlight their views. For example, they said work from home causes us to only talk during meeting sessions over the internet, but the WhatsApp group allows it to be enhanced. Some say that we have WhatsApp group and have a frequent online meeting. So this indicates that digital communication allows both formal and informal communication, which can build and enhance relationship among workers and employers, and some even extended to the stakeholders. However, the study also found that misunderstandings occur in employee-employer relationships. The common problems of misunderstandings and miscommunication are compounded by the shortcomings of digital communication, lack of context, asynchronous responses, and the inability to see body language are some of the challenges that make digital communication problematic. These contribute to a lack of human interaction or human touch. The respondents shared their views. They highlight the problem that face-to-face discussion are still better than virtual ones, and they still need the human touch. So when work from home, there is no personal touch with staff, as they claim. That no personal touch with staff because communication only involves online. Others also shared that because we do not communicate face-to-face, then no emotional connection occurs when interacting with colleagues. So digital communication also causes ineffective communication as shared by respondents. Too long at home due to MCO only causes us to forget how to interact with office mates in reality, except interaction via conference video. Some say that although communication can be done online for essential tasks, informal communication between colleagues is often enjoyed face to face, and this is not happened during MCO due to the busyness of each in every carrying out the actual duties, and also duties of being mother, father, wife, and husband. So it seems that based on the responses received from the respondents, COVID-19 seems to, has brought the world to digital use to optimum level, especially when it comes an important element in work from home. Therefore, employers and employees need to understand what their needs are and to what extent they can go digital, because certain elements can never be replaced by technologies. The third theme found in this study is institutional and social supports. So to succeed in work from home practices during MCO, the support of organizations and employers are deemed needed. The tools and equipment commonly used in the workplace should also be at home. But this is not easy because not all employees who work from home afford to have it. Hence, they need support from the organization. So however, the study found that respondents who work from home have difficulty fulfilling the responsibilities because of the burden they have to bear without the support of the employee. So, the lack of institutional supports will also contribute to weakening employment relations. Yeah, as can see that without effective support, particularly from the organization and superiors, workers will also experience silo syndrome. So silo is a term that refers to workers who work in a silo environment, operating in isolation, focusing strictly on their narrow concerns and not sharing ideas with their peers. Yeah, so these experiences, indicate that supports from the institutions play a pivotal role to prevent the feeling of isolation, which could be detrimental to workers' health. Additionally, institutional support through financial also paramount. The study found that there are cases whereby workers are not paid during MCO, or for some work from home costs their pay to be deducted. Yeah, so also working from home is a government directive to curb the spread of COVID-19. Employers should ensure that the welfare of employees is not neglected. Additionally, the government should also ensure that work from home directives can be regulated to ensure workers' rights are protected. The fourth theme found in this study is new working style. Ergonomic aims to increase efficiency and productivity and reduce discomfort. The government's directive to implement work from home for most employment sectors in Malaysia has made it a new norm and practice. Work environments and work organizations that change location from work premises to their respective residential homes had to be adopted by those involved. These situations create a form of a new culture as the work system in terms of working time, dress code, way of working, and ergonomics of workstation change, which in turn impacted on the employment relations. So as can be seen in this slide, I shared some excerpts from the respondents illustrate the situations of the new culture as they claim it. The first one, they said that our social culture in Malaysia in general and in Sabah in particular will only be achieved to the maximum by face-to-face or physical interaction. Online culture has less impact on the relationships between colleagues and employers. Others said that being working from home, this is a new working environment. So others said work from home allows me to work whenever I like, and others also shared that I do not have to think about what clothes to wear today or what time to leave for the office. Interesting. So although working from home is considered the most flexible job, the study found that due to lack of supports, be it digitally or emotionally from employers, tends to reduce the social bond between employees and employers. And this is supported by Hill, for example. Similar to the study findings, from Lawson, Vroman, and Macarius, for example, also stated that loneliness is one of the most common complaints about remote work, with employees missing the informal social interaction of an office setting. So this Studies prove that social isolation can happen when work-from-home employees feel lonely and lack a face-to-face social interaction in doing work. The problem of two-way communication between the organization and employees remotely drives a decrease in the productivity of individual employees, as this whole social change when working from home can result in low-level collaboration between colleagues and supervisors. Eventually, this situation leads to personal isolation and the nature of employee professionalism, which is less encouraging in performing job duties. Furthermore, this situation is exacerbated when digital transformation is not supported and supervision and monitoring are at a minimum level implemented by employers and organization. So this scenario implies that there are social limitations in employment relations, thus inviting job isolation from the social point of views of employees when working from home. So new norms about working from home are changing the way employees and managers interact, which for many is a source of potential concern about what business as usual will look like in the future. While certain concerns may initially slow down the efficiency of work from home practices, steady and positive communication and support from all parties will help maintain everyone's morale and keep employee relations intact as the world moves through this challenge. So as a conclusion, COVID-19 pandemic is an unprecedented crisis that is testing professional and personal relations around the world. It is the responsibility of each member of each organization to put in their utmost and maintain smooth and harmonious employment relations. The study shows that the success of work from home on employment relations is a concept of relationships that exist based on trust, and this can be shown through a symbol of cooperation among all parties that are trusted on the commitment of work given. So the concept of trust resulting from employment relationships will encourage employees to have high autonomy in decision-making of work duties and responsibilities. Therefore, organizations and governments should play their pivotal roles to ensure that work-from-home directives can be regulated to ensure workers' rights are protected. As medical experts have predicted that world economies and society will normalize in 2020 at the soonest, work-from-home arrangements will continue to be in place for the next year or so until the coronavirus is brought under control. So efficient work from home cannot be implemented overnight. This needs proper planning, systemic and cultural support. Keeping employee morale up through regular motivation recognition is more important than ever, and virtual communication is ideally suited for that. Managers and organizations should stress the fact that work from home gives employees additional accountability and that the organization trusts them to make the best use of that accountability. Hence, institutional supports are deemed needed in terms of ensure workers have decent, conducive workspace at home, to provide with necessary technology facilities, or to facilitate with utility incentive, for example. So this is also an excellent opportunity to encourage upskilling through online learning platforms. Moreover, personal messages and calls acknowledging the difficulties that each employee may be going through go a long way in improving their sense of self-worth as valued team members. So employer and employee are two sides of the same coin and must sail together during this difficult storm of COVID-19 and ensure that the new work style of work from home efficiently functions for the betterment of everyone and society, the betterment of everyone, the society, and our nation at large. Furthermore, change is the only constant. Employees and organizations that will adapt according to change will survive. So, should work from home be extended after the pandemic is over? Or should these new norms and new work culture be retained? Or will hybrid working model be a better option in the future? I leave that questions for future discussion. With that, I end my presentation. See you again and thank you for your attention.